Icy landscapes are known to have many secrets hidden below them. With the ever-increasing temperatures of the world through global warming, some of these discoveries are finally being found. Some are pretty good, and some, let's say, are deadly terrifying. From ancient creatures frozen in time to ancient viruses with no cure, here are 15 times ice-held bizarre secrets that were never meant to be found. And trust us, these discoveries will blow your brain. Let's start off with number 15. Giant disturbing frozen craters. In the heart of Siberia, there's a crater so massive and mysterious that locals call it the end of the world. Oil workers flying over the region were the first to spot the gaping hole in the ground, and what they saw left them unsettled. The crater stretches over 200 feet across, and to this day, no one knows exactly how deep it goes. No one's eager to find out either. Since its discovery, theories about its origin have been swirling. Some believe it was caused by a powerful underground explosion, while others suspect a meteorite impact. Russian scientists, however, have pointed to something even more concerning: off-the-charts methane levels surrounding the site, nearly 10 times higher than normal. This has led to speculation that climate change is thawing underground gas pockets, leading to sudden, violent eruptions. Whether it's a natural phenomenon or something more sinister, one thing is clear: this crater isn't just a hole in the ground, it's a warning sign from the Earth itself. Number 14. One of the deadliest viruses found in a block of ice. The melting of the ice caps isn't just revealing ancient landscapes, it's releasing things that were never meant to return. Among the most unsettling discoveries, a 30,000-year-old virus pulled from deep beneath Siberia's frozen tundra. Nicknamed the Pathos virus, this ancient microorganism is the largest virus ever recorded and the most terrifying part. It was still active when scientists found it. The good news is that it only infects amoebas, meaning humans aren't at risk, yet. But the discovery raises a disturbing question. If this virus survived, what else is lurking in the ice? With each passing year, more ice melts, and more unknown pathogens resurface. Some scientists worry that viruses from long-extinct pandemics could be lying in wait, perfectly preserved and still contagious. The idea that something microscopic from thousands of years ago could suddenly wake up and wreak havoc, that's the kind of plot twist no one wants to see play out in real life. Number 13. Frozen bone pits from hell. A lake near the Himalayas looks peaceful until the ice melts. That's when it reveals something straight out of a nightmare: hundreds of human skeletons scattered beneath its surface. The discovery was made in 1942 by a forest guard who stumbled upon a lake filled with bones. At first, many assumed the remains belonged to Japanese soldiers from World War II, but further analysis shattered that theory. The bones were far older, dating back to 850 AD. The cause of death? Blunt force trauma to the skulls, with fragments of hail embedded inside. According to legend, a group of travelers angered a deity, who then unleashed a deadly hailstorm upon them, killing every last one. Whether it was divine wrath or just a freak storm, one thing is clear: these skeletons are a chilling reminder that nature always has the final say. Number 12. A mammoth of a discovery. Lyuba, a baby mammoth, lived over 48,000 years ago, roaming the icy landscapes of prehistoric Earth. Her journey through time, however, took a strange turn in 2007 when a reindeer hunter in Russia stumbled upon her remarkably well-preserved body, completely by accident. Realizing the significance of his discovery, the hunter reached out to a friend who advised him to contact a museum director. But before experts could examine the remains, something bizarre happened. Lyuba was gone. Turns out, the hunter's cousin saw an opportunity and sold the mammoth's body to make a quick profit. Fortunately, scientists were able to track it down before any damage was done. When they finally examined Lyuba, they were stunned. Her skin, trunk, and even eyes were still perfectly intact, frozen in time as if she had just taken her last step. Today, she's preserved in a museum, offering an unprecedented glimpse into the Ice Age world she once roamed. Number 11. Alien markings in the ice. A casual walk across a frozen Utah lake turned into a full-blown mystery when two friends stumbled upon something deeply unsettling trapped beneath the ice. A bizarre circular formation sat frozen in the lake, with strange holes puncturing the surface. Whatever was underneath had an almost organic look to it, like it didn't quite belong. The friends weren't alone in their suspicions. Some believed they had found a UFO landing site, while others took it a step further, claiming it was alien eggs waiting to hatch. According to their descriptions, the surface had a slimy texture, adding to the eerie, otherworldly feel. Unfortunately, they didn't take any samples, meaning any real analysis was out of the question. Skeptics have thrown out explanations ranging from spilled coffee to salt formations from ice fishing, but none of these quite explain the eerie design and unnatural appearance of the frozen mass. Whatever it was, it left behind a mystery that still lingers. Number 10. Unknown creatures frozen in time. Siberia is one of the most unforgiving landscapes on Earth, but it's also one of the best natural freezers. For centuries, it has preserved creatures that should have been long gone, locking them in ice like a biological time capsule. One of the most fascinating finds? A mysterious species of dog, perfectly frozen, with fur, teeth, and even its last meal still intact. Scientists estimate it to be over 10,000 years old, potentially one of the earliest breeds domesticated by humans. The discovery gives a rare look at how ancient wolves gradually became the loyal companions we know today. And it's not just prehistoric canines being unearthed. Strange, never-before-seen animals have been found frozen in enormous ice blocks, leading researchers to wonder what else is still out there. If the ice continues to melt at its current rate, we may soon be looking at creatures that haven't walked the Earth in thousands of years, and some of them might not be as harmless as a frozen pup. Number 9. Deadly disease makes a comeback. Siberia has been a natural freezer for centuries, locking away everything from ancient animals to long-buried bodies. But as the permafrost melts, it's not just fossils that are resurfacing, it's diseased. One particularly disturbing discovery was the body of a person who had been buried with smallpox. The corpse was so well preserved that scientists feared the virus itself might still be active. Precautions were taken, but the incident raised a terrifying possibility. If smallpox, a disease that wiped out millions, could survive in ice for hundreds of years, what else is lurking beneath the surface? There are fears that other deadly pathogens, ones humanity thought were long gone, could be trapped in the melting ice, waiting for the right conditions to wake up. It's not a sci-fi movie plot, it's a real concern. The deeper the ice thaws, the more secrets it releases, and not all of them should be making a comeback. All right, now let's head over to Number 8. Strange frozen photos of the past. A long-forgotten expedition took a tragic turn when a ship became trapped in ice, forcing the crew to abandon it and fight for survival. Over a century later, in 2013, a group of conservationists working on old Arctic huts stumbled upon a rusted lockbox frozen solid in ice. Inside were black and white photos, eerily preserved, capturing the final days of that doomed journey. Once developed, the images showed weary faces, men staring into the camera with the kind of quiet dread that comes from knowing their odds of survival weren't great. Among them was Ernest Shackleton, the expedition leader, standing firm like he could somehow defy the ice itself. Their ship had been swallowed whole by the freezing landscape, leaving them no choice but to set off on foot across the ice. Against all odds, they survived. But their lost photographs tell a far more haunting version of events, one where time stopped and the cold nearly won. Number 7. Perfectly preserved maiden. Her face is still peaceful, her clothing untouched, her braids woven neatly like she could wake up at any moment. But this young Incan girl has been frozen in ice for over 500 years, sealed in time at the top of a volcano. She wasn't alone. Found alongside 2 younger children, she was part of an ancient ritual sacrifice, left in the freezing altitude as an offering to the gods. Her body was so well preserved that when scientists examined her, they could still see tiny lice clinging to her hair. One researcher admitted that looking at her hands, frozen in place, felt unsettling, too real, too human. With modern medical technology, scientists were even able to diagnose her with tuberculosis, offering rare insight into diseases from half a millennium ago. What was meant to be an act of devotion ended up turning her into an accidental time traveler. Her story carried through the ice long after she was gone. Number 6. Disturbing message in a frozen bottle. In 1959, Paul T. Walker, a geologist with a keen sense of foresight, placed a message inside a bottle and tucked it under a pile of rocks near a glacier. His note was simple: measure the distance between the bottle and the edge of the ice. It was his way of tracking whether the glacier was shrinking. Decades later, in 2013, 2 researchers found that bottle, now trapped in ice, and decided to follow Walker's instructions. What they found wasn't just alarming, it was undeniable proof of something we can't ignore. The glacier had pulled back over 200 feet since Walker wrote his note. Back in the 1950s, the idea of climate change wasn't mainstream. But this frozen time capsule, left behind by a man who saw it coming, became one of the clearest examples of how fast the planet is changing. The question isn't if glaciers are melting, it's how much longer we can afford to pretend they aren't. Well, we're just dreaming better, not doing better. Number 5. Oxymoron of a lifetime. Frozen volcano. Volcanoes and ice don't belong in the same sentence. One is pure destruction, the other preserves. But nature has a way of throwing the rule book out the window, and in a remote stretch of China, it created something that makes no sense. Icy volcano-like formations rising from the ground. These aren't actual volcanoes, but bizarre structures formed when underground water freezes and expands. The pressure pushes up layers of soil and ice, creating jagged, cone-shaped peaks that look like they belong on another planet. The extreme shifts in temperature in this area are what make it possible. Water that seeps beneath the surface gets trapped, freezes, and erupts upward in slow motion. The result is a landscape that looks like it should be spewing lava, but instead stands eerily still, frozen in time. Number 4. The Legend of Green Boots. Climbing Mount Everest is one of the ultimate challenges for adventurers, but for some, it's a journey with no return. Over 240 climbers have perished attempting to reach the summit, their bodies forever frozen along the mountainside. One of the most infamous among them is an unidentified climber known only as Green Boots. For years, his body remained in the same spot, hunched under a rock, his green boots sticking out as a haunting landmark for others making the treacherous climb. He became a grim reminder of Everest's dangers, a symbol of both human resilience and the mountain's unforgiving nature. Then, one day, Green Boots vanished. His body was suddenly gone with no clear explanation. Some say he was finally given a proper burial. Others whisper about something far more unsettling, that he was taken by forces unknown. Whatever the truth may be, his legend lives on, one of Everest's many unsolved mysteries. Number 3. The Iceman's Curse. In 1991, 2 tourists exploring the Ötztal Alps made a discovery that would go down in history. a frozen 5,000-year-old mummy. He was named Otzi the Iceman, and while he fascinated scientists, some believe his unearthing came with a deadly price. Over the next 13 years, 7 people involved in his excavation mysteriously died. Some of these deaths were natural, but others were violent. A researcher froze to death in the Alps, a forensic expert died in a car accident, and another fell off a cliff. As for Otzi himself, his story was just as dark. He had been brutally murdered, shot in the back with an arrow before being bludgeoned to death with a rock. Whether it was an ancient act of vengeance or something more sinister, some believe Otzi wasn't meant to be disturbed. Coincidence or curse, his legacy remains one of the most chilling finds in archaeological history. Number 2. Prehistoric discovery of the woolly rhino. Woolly rhinos sound like something out of a fantasy novel, but they were real. And thanks to the Siberian permafrost, one of them just got a second chance at being seen. In 2014, hunters in Siberia stumbled upon a frozen carcass that looked like a strange mix between a rhino and a reindeer. As they got closer, they realized they had just uncovered one of the best-preserved woolly rhinos ever found. Nicknamed Sasha, this prehistoric creature still had patches of fur and visible facial features. While scavengers had taken parts of its body, enough remained to give scientists incredible insight into its history. Sasha is proof that giant Ice Age mammals roamed the Earth far longer than previously thought. And if a rhino like this can be so perfectly preserved, it raises a chilling question. What else is still hidden beneath the ice, waiting to be found? Number 1. Ancient species of plants unearthed in ice. The Ice Age buried more than just mammoths and prehistoric creatures. It froze entire ecosystems in time. And thanks to modern science, some of those ancient plants are making a comeback. In 2012, researchers unearthed a frozen burrow in Siberia. Inside, they found seeds from an extinct species of plant, perfectly preserved in ice for over 30,000 years. The seeds had been buried by a squirrel, completely unaware that an ice age was about to seal them away for millennia. Scientists managed to revive the seeds, successfully growing plants that haven't existed since prehistoric times. This discovery has opened doors to understanding ancient plant life and even raises questions about resurrecting lost species. If a simple plant can survive thousands of years in ice, who's to say what else is still out there, waiting for its chance to bloom once again? If you enjoyed this video, well, please like it, share it, and hit that subscribe button for more content like this. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon in the next one.